Good afternoon. Today I will be showing a demonstration of our application through Salesforce, which is a customer resource management platform to enable visibility, automation, as well as improved processes into the newly renovated internship application process. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. You can see here, this is the use case diagram of the newly renovated internship application process that we were looking to accomplish. You can see here the different actors with their labels, student, the application, as well as supervisor, and instructor and advisor. We've given them names just so it's more applicable to the scenario that it's in. A quick disclaimer, there were some use cases that were outside of the scope for our project, such as send employer verification email, in addition to confirm internship legitimacy. We were under the impression that just for the sake of this project, that these two elements would already be given and would be relevant for the application itself to work. So I'm just going to go off of the first use case here, complete internship application. I'm going to switch gears into our community builder. And so this is the view that a student would see when they log into community for our application. You can see here it's quite blank. They would then navigate into create or view applications. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And they would then navigate over to new case record. They would choose the record type, the department that they're applying the internship for. So I'm just going to go ahead and select risk management. You can see here a drop down of recent contacts that have created cases. This is mainly because of the system administrator privileges that I currently own, but a student would not be able to see other students' information here. So I'm just going to go ahead and act as a new student here. So I'm going to create a new contact here. You can see here there are required fields and other information that we should fill out. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Select the graduation year as well as the email. All right, I'm going to save that contact that we just created. You can see here it's giving you verification as well as populating your contact with the name or the account that we just created. Let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this case internship application here. Just going to pause the video so I can go ahead and do that. All right, just picking back up, you can see here that I've filled out the rest of this application. So let's break it down a little bit. You can see here that there are required fields such as the description, applying for a UPS data analytics program. We can provide the start date, end date, as well as additional information. The check boxes here are to enable greater visibility for the downstream users, such as the instructor and advisor. These are relevant information pieces that they will use to make a decision on the approval or denial of this application. You can see here 60 credit hours of the program completed, their GPA requirements, as well as class credit requirement there, employer address, employer name. We provided the supervisor's email and the supervisor's contact name as well. So let's go ahead and save this application. You can see here that the creator is given a validation notification there, letting them know that this case has been created. And you can see here that there's information as well. You can see the status is set to under review, and they can see other information. However, from the student view, they are not able to edit any of their information because it's locked for editing at this stage in the process. Just going over to the next step, I'm going to go to the email of the advisor who would receive this application. You can see here that there is a notification in the advisor's email Dropbox, letting them know that there is an item for them to approve. And so switching again, I'm going to go into the inward-facing client side of Salesforce to allow visibility for the, excuse me, I'm going to go into my cases here for the view of our advisors here. Oh, excuse me again, this is the wrong department. And you can see here the top view is the most recently created case. We are displaying the contact name, the status, the employer name, date and time opened, as well as their relevant requirements for approval. And so we can see here that they've completed all of their necessary fields for this internship. So I'm going to go ahead and approve this internship because it looks like they've meet all the requirements here. And the internship advisor, or the risk management advisor is able to provide notes, which again gives greater clarity downstream for the next step in this. So you can see here it's passed off to Dr. David Eccles, and let's go into his email, relevant email account here. We can see here that there's a new email in his Dropbox. This is the most recently received email. We can see here that there has been a request for approval for the following item. And so let's go back into the Salesforce process here. And let's go ahead and take a look here at this application as the last approver. We can see here the contact name, the description. We can see the student's GPA listed here as well as their 810 if we need to further validate this, as well as the student's email. We're able to see the supervisor's email, the employer, relevant information that we would need to make this decision. And so it appears that they have all of this, these requirements met, and so I'm just going to go ahead and approve this. All right, and so I will go into my students' registered Salesforce account to see here that there's been a response to my case creation. Tom, who was the creator of the case, it's given you a message here that his application was put through the pipeline correctly. And we can go back home and view our applications again and see that this case was accepted. This most recent case that we just submitted as Tom Robert has been accepted. And so going into our use case diagram here, we're able to complete the internship application form. We're able to evaluate the internship application approval, as well as approve the internship application. And then I will now demonstrate the denial of the application itself. So I'm going to go in here into community. I'm going to create another application here. Risk management. And again, I will pause the video so that I can fill out this information here. Okay, I'm back here. Just wanted to show the newly created case. So we're using a new student contact here that I've created, John Roberts. You can see here that he's applying to work at the EITS help desk. And he is applying for a start date of June 2020 and an end date of August 2020. We've gone ahead and filled out other relevant information. So let's go ahead and submit this case. Case is created here. Let's go into Salesforce for the approval process. And again, this is the view that the risk management instructor would have for their decision on the case itself. So we can see here as a risk management advisor instructor, their case looks good. It's under review. They checked off that they have these requirements met. So I'm going to, let's say, further investigate into the case before I make a quick decision. Obviously, like, these are user-checked fields. So I would just like to go ahead and further validate this. So I'm going to view John Roberts' information. And I can see here something that pops out to me as an advisor. The student GPA is lower than what they've listed that it was. Here we can see that it's a 2.2. And the requirements for this internship is to have a GPA greater than 2.5. So because of this misalignment, I'm going to go ahead and deny this application because they do not meet the requirements. And again, here we're seeing that there is a approval request, a newly generated approval request 1 minute ago for this item that's been created. So I'm going to go ahead and deny this application because of this discrepancy. Your GPA does not meet the requirement for this internship. Please contact me further if you have questions. And the advisor can provide contact information such as their phone number or email. So I'm going to go ahead and reject this. We can see here that because it didn't pass the first step in the process, it won't be passed on to the next downstream approver, which is the instructor. There's a comment here that's generated, and it's set to rejected as the status. Switching into community, which is the view for the student. We're just going to go ahead and refresh this case here. Pardon me, it'll push me back to the main page here. And yeah, the top case is the one that John Roberts had just created. We can see that the status is set to denied. And we are able to see that it's denied for the application. And so we're going to go ahead for the users, or the student submitted email. It's given a response here. And so, yeah, that takes care of the next use case that we have. To close out the video, I'd just like to briefly cover the process builder that we have active for this internship application. You can see here that it starts with the case's creation, and then it's passed through some conditional checks here for the record type that we've checked off at the start of the case. If it's risk management as the type, then it'll pass to these given actions. If it's management, it'll pass to these relevant actions. And so let's just break this down a little bit further. We can see here that it's setting the status to pending that we saw. It's setting it to under review, as well as passing through the risk management approval process. And again, this is the steps that we've shown. It's sending an email notification to the relevant parties. And just for better clarity into what's going on under the hood, I'm just going to show a little bit of the approval process itself. We can see here that there are certain steps that are taken when an application is passed through this criteria. of risk management being the record type.